Hey guys, I just came across an article about people becoming hospitalized and transitioning themselves out due to psychotic breaks because of their interactions with AI. And basically AI, I'm almost quoting, like the article even says the AI is feeding their ego. And it's coming into it's where it's talking about how we're living in a simulation, and then it ends up in some cases it's telling people that they're here for this huge mission. You know, there's one gentleman that was saying that he was believing that like billionaires are watching him, and blocking phone numbers and doing like all these like crazy ramblings to his friends and all this stuff. This isn't because of AI. This is what happens, and I have talked about this repeatedly for a while, and I've seen it personally with particularly one person that was very close to me for like 20 plus years that is no longer online in my reality for me, as in another way of saying it, we're no longer active friends right now. In truth, they're here with me right now, and I've felt them hold my hand. I've heard them talk to me like in my mind's ear, or however you want to say it. So in truth, they're here. The character though has been removed from I've allowed the removal of the character from my life because they are a metaphor of things I'm letting go of. Anyway, this character, I'm utilizing them as example because they are one of the strongest examples that I know of, that I personally know. Same thing happened with them, but they didn't utilize AI. They're constantly in and out of the psych ward. They have been in the belief that demons have been attacking them. They believe that they've watched me transition and that something basically evil has taken over my body and is trying to transition them. The things that they have seen and what they've quote unquote experienced, um, very much, very similar. Also, like this hero, messianic, or however you say it, complex, believing that they're here to save people, and they've repeatedly come back for my ego and all this stuff. So, this whole thing with AI causing these psychotic breaks, that's not the case. It is indulging in our own ego and allowing ourselves to blast up without putting in the mental cleanup and remembering and anchoring onto what the truth actually is. I have talked about this multiple times, especially in the past years, or past several months, really, since things have kind of peaked with this character that I was just talking about. Because it was just a couple months ago where things finally ended with them, with our friendship. If you let yourself blast up with your ego on without working on it, this is what happens. This is why people experience things like demons. Demons aren't actually real. Energy plays as we allow it, and it's reflecting what we're clinging to within ourselves. So if you believe in demons, you believe you can be attacked by demons, and you don't do the mental cleanup button, don't work on it, well, energy, what we're one with, loves us so much, it's going to play as we allow it. Demons aren't real. It's a metaphor, and we're allowing it to put on a costume and play pretend, and it stops when you start working on yourself. When you cling to ego, again, ego's not bad. I'm not saying ego's bad. Nothing is bad or wrong. Everything is helpful. Everything's a lesson. Everything is keys and reminders and all this stuff, right? With that being said, when we let ourselves blast up with our ego on without doing the self-work, that is where we end up with what we're seeing in that article, in that news article that I just came across. And I don't really pay attention to the news, but I sometimes get articles pop up on my phone, and sometimes they catch my eye, and I'll look at them and whatnot, and then do my mental cleanup as I need to when it's reflecting things of untruth. And this article is reflecting a level of untruth, but also a tool to help with guidance as to what to do with all of this. So the truth is, one way we can put it is, yes, this is a simulation. It's not literally a giant computer that we're living in and some overlord is controlling. No, it's not like that. It's just a good way to try and explain what this is, to explain that this is not real. We're making it up. It's pretend. It's an illusion. It's a dream. With that being said, it's also very important, and this is where the quote unquote balance comes in, because we're always balanced. Technically, we're whole, holy, and perfect. We're home now. This isn't even actually happening. All versions are playing out, yet none of it's actually happening. We're all one. It's all love. Absolutely. That's the absolute truth. We're always balanced. We're always whole, and perfect. We're always home. That's the actual truth of where we're always at. While we're imagining that we're playing pretend with illusion, there's a balance. And that balance is recognizing, yes, this is not real. It is an illusion. However, it looks and feels real right now. I am in the illusion that there are others outside of myself. I am not here to purposely be a shit disturber. The truth of everything is love. I try and help where I can. And I work on myself. That's the number one thing, is I keep working on myself. I work on where things aren't feeling good and where I'm having thoughts that are reflecting something in the illusion of, like, illusion, reflecting illusion, ego, something that would be in a judgment of negative. We could judge it as negative. Recognizing just because, this is a dream, a simulation, it's not real, doesn't mean I'm about to go walk up to random people on the street and say, you're just a character that I'm making up. Well, no, I'm not going to do that, because I'm in the illusion, again, that there are others, and they believe that they are these bodies and there's these characters. My toes are getting played with right now. Thank you. Even though I know they are my own projected hologram, I'm not about to go tell someone that. In my own space here, I can talk about this, but that's just it though too. I also need to recognize, even though they're my own projected hologram, I am one with them. Everything is energy. It's all connected. And if it's not loving, it's not real. So same with, this one friend that I've been mentioning, one of the things that she's gotten quite aggravated with me over, because again, she couldn't hear me, but when you're speaking with ego can't hear this stuff. Ego won't listen. Ego's insane. Ego is crazy. So speaking to ego through this character, which is what I was doing essentially, because she couldn't hear me, she would get upset if I would talk about how essentially, a Big Mac and an apple are the same thing. Now, even though I know technically it's the same, because it's all energy, and once I give that energy the form and the meaning and the power. It's not the other way around. That being said, again, here's the balance. I recognize I'm playing pretend, that there is a difference between an apple and a Big Mac. So yes, I know, like, some people are going to come across and go like, well, you're clearly overweight. So like, how much do you like really actually not eat McDonald's every day? I struggle with my weight, yes. Again, illusion, and then lessons about loving myself regardless, and even going past loving the body and the character, because I'm not even the body and the character, and love is what I am. It's not even a feeling. I can't give or receive it. So a bunch of lessons in my weight and the body that I'm working on. With that being said, no, I don't eat McDonald's every day, and I wouldn't eat McDonald's every day. Not right now, because I am playing with the illusion that McDonald's is not good for me. And as much as I know that technically a Big Mac and an apple are one and the same, there is no difference. I give it the power and meaning I choose to. I'm still clinging to illusion that things can be bad for me. And that includes eating a Big Mac every day or multiple times a day, or both, So it is a balance. It has nothing to do with the AI is causing these psychotic breaks. This has been happening the entire time with awakening and ascension. And again, this is why I struggle with my respect with a lot of the spiritual community, because so many mediums still channel ego, thinking it's spirit and spreading the message like it's spirit. Spirit will never sit here and indulge in illusion like it's real. It can utilize the tools within illusion to help us remember what is actually real, and it's here to help guide us through and out of the illusion. And it can give us, spirit can absolutely, tell us things that, like, how could that person know that? There's no way that person can know that. Yeah, spirit can do that. But again, I've talked about this so many times before in so many other videos. Like, it doesn't matter what kind of proof you're getting. What is the message coming along with it? Because unless the messages are going, okay, so here's like the proof or whatever, yada yada, the regular kind of medium channeling that we're always kind of used to, and what's been kind of standard for a long time now. Um, but what spirit always does is always zooms out to remind us, okay, so within illusion, this is what it's looking like, and blah 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 blah. But zooming out, here's the truth, and this is what's actually happening underneath, and this is the truth of it. This is what the actual truth is. This is why people go into psychotic breaks. This is why people experience things like demons and being attacked. There is no attack. There is no evil. There is no psychic attack. There are no billionaires like controlling anyone. Everything. That is all victim stories. And the victim, hero, villain complex, that whole thing of I need to be a savior, or I need a savior, I need to be a healer, or I need a healer. All of those keep us in the loops of illusion of suffering. Period. And I am done caring about what another one of my best friends came at me when our friendship ended again just a couple months ago, and told me that she thinks I'm really low for judging all like mediums of the spiritual community, for when it comes to, I can't remember exactly what she said. She called me low for judging basically the spiritual community and people who call themselves healers and Reiki masters, and blanketing a judgment over them. First of all, I recognize that's my ego going off and I'm in judgment. I absolutely recognize that. With that being said, this is why I am struggling with my ego illusion of judgment and disrespect for a lot of the spiritual community, because especially particularly for those who claim to be awake and aware and have been for a long time and who choose to work with the public, where they channel and or talk about this stuff without recognizing what the truth actually is, because all this does is keep us again looping in the illusion of suffering. And this is what causes people to have psychotic breaks. I've had very well-known mediums, groups and very well-known groups of mediums that have told me things like, I've got negative energy portals around me, and I'm being bogged down by all these soul contracts that are doing all these horrible things to me, and I've got and that I'm mentally ill, and I all this stuff. And none of that, everything is helpful. Like I said, everything is helpful, but at the same time, if I had kept clinging to that instead of, thank God, and again, thank God for Julie coming into my life, because she helped give me these deeper click-ins and then taught me this method of mental cleanup about how, again, help me get that deeper click-in of how everything is energy and it's playing as I'm allowing it, and then teaching me the mental cleanup. And thank God for that, because had that not happened within a year of my because it was about a year into my awakening-ish, and then that all came online, and had that not, I know I'm not to judge, but I don't want to imagine where I'd be right now. And I want to say it'd be no thanks to any of those people who are claiming to be these professional mediums and who are working with the public and have thousands, if not tens of thousands, going on to hundreds of thousands of followers. It's kind of in the illusion of judgment. It's kind of scary to know that there are people who are fawning at these mediums' feet when they're being fed so many ego lies. And it causes that. I'm gonna say something and then I'm going to zoom out. This is because this causes those psychotic breaks. I am very grateful and I feel very lucky that I did not end up like where my ex-friend has and is. I feel very thankful and very lucky that I am not constantly in and out of the psych ward, and I'm not, and especially with where I'm at with my ascension, that what I experience, Spirit is getting stronger, and it's not evil, and it's not dark, and it's not scary. Before I started working on myself and before my awakening, I would feel like this. I'd feel like what I would call like a ghost walking by me, and it'd give me like my heart would drop and I get scared and I turn on my light and I just act and pretend like I didn't recognize them. Like if I ignore it, it's gonna be bored with me and it's gonna leave me alone. Now I'm just like, I feel spirit all the time and it's nothing but love. And if I do start to experience something scary, I do my mental cleanup. I recognize I'm one with it. I give it love, and it either stops or it turns into loving because it's not real. It's a reflection of what I'm choosing to cling to. And this is why it's so important. So, because zooming out with it causes, it's not that this stuff causes psychotic breaks. Again, the external is the internal projected outward. Nothing external actually affects us. We choose to cling on to ego lies, and then we project that out and whatnot. We affect the external, not the other way around. So I needed to zoom out to clarify that within the illusion, though, this is what quote unquote causes these psychotic breaks. This is why, again, it is so important that we do this mental cleanup. And I am never going to sit here anymore and talk about how any of this illusion shit is true. I don't know how to go out into the world right now and hold up a quote unquote normal conversation with like, or what society would deem as a normal conversation, because I can't and I will not sit here and bitch about the world or anybody and stay in that space without at some point zooming out and recognizing what the truth is. I have my moments where I will sit here and I will bitch and I will moan and I will groan and I'll feel scared and this and that and like, think like the world's exploding and like there's no hope and everything's fucked and blah blah blah. Like I have those moments and I will let myself embrace it. It's important to embrace these things. Embracing it, fully facing it, fully feeling it. We can't avoid. Avoidance and distraction does nothing but make it fester and explode. Hang on one second. I apologize. It's like 6 a.m. and it's dark and I only have my TV, like the TV light on. So I know the lighting's not great. Anyway. So it's, it's so important. So yes, there's that balance of embracing where we're playing at, but then at the same time, we have to remember to zoom out, remember and anchor onto what the truth is, and do the mental cleanup. I will not, even with people who come to me for channeling and readings, anyone who chooses to come and work with me, don't expect to ever sit here and get told that you are a victim, for me to pat you on your head and say, poor you, to basically throw your shit back in your face at you, because I will never do that. And spirit doesn't do that either. Spirit doesn't do that. So again, this is why, with this, the look of the mediumship in the spiritual community is going to start changing, because more and more people are going to start remembering, because I'm not the only one. And more and more people are going to start remembering and recognizing what the truth actually is and going, oh, I've been channeling ego, thinking it's spirit. Ego will prove ego, but illusion, like ego illusion, will prove ego illusion, but truth will always disprove it. So again, that's why I say it doesn't matter how much quote unquote evidence a medium brings in. What's the message that's coming with it? This is why I struggle with my illusion, ego judgment, with disrespect towards a lot of the spiritual community, because there is so much of just ego being channeled, not realizing it's not spirit. And then people watching this, especially because a lot of them look like they are professional, fully accredited. They've been doing this for a long time. They've got a huge following. They're professional. They are what's the word that I'm looking for? They're like valid. They're valid, well-known mediums. It doesn't matter. I don't care how well-known the medium is. What is actually being said? I don't care if they're they're a medium to the celebrities. I don't care if they have 100,000 followers or several million. I don't care. Like several million followers. I don't care, because I have seen way too many, and I've heard way too many people who have these big followings channel nothing but ego for the most part. And again, everything is helpful not to judge. At the same time, these ego lies is what causes these quote unquote psychotic breaks. AI is just like everything else external. It's a reflection of what we're clinging to inside. And like I've said before, all all I. It's just a metaphorical reflection of the oneness, the one mind that we are. And so, of course, through AI, we're going to see a lot of our ego shit reflecting through there, because the whole external, including AI, is reflecting what we're choosing to cling to within. And it's either going to be ego lies, metaphors of ego lies, or reflections of actual truth. The AI, these psychotic breaks are not happening because of the AI. These psychotic breaks have been happening the entire time. And guess what? When you think you're experiencing a demon is attacking you, you're in a psychotic break. That's not reality. Ego is insane and it's going crazy. It's throwing a temper tantrum. And that's what you're experiencing. You're experiencing your own shit coming at you full front. And it's opportunity to work on it, not to sit there, act like a victim or act like a hero saying, I was attacked and I battled this demon and I did this and I did that. Absolutely not. You had your own shit come at you and you were there to face it and not keep pushing it out on other people like it was real and like you're some sort of hero or victim and then telling everybody else that there's this huge spiritual war. And absolutely not. Like, I want to just say stop. Just stop, because you're not a hero, you're not a victim, and guess what? You're also not a villain. You are beyond all of this. Even with me right now, I need to recognize all I'm doing is talking to myself. There is no one outside of myself. I'm not even this character, this body. There's only God, and that's it. And God is that, like I've said many times, excuse me, there's my resistance kicking in. Exactly, that's my resistance kicking in. But I know this is true. God, which all is, it's only what is. One aware energy of pure, unconditional, unrestricted, non-judgmental, open, shared, equal love within compassionate neutrality. It's just what is. Love is. It's what is. All that other stuff is not real. And guess what? No one is a special chosen one over another. You gotta let that go too. Chosen ones, healers, masters, light warriors, archangels, angel. I will utilize the label of archangel, but that's for different reasons within the illusion of distinction, for distinction purposes and just help explain things and whatnot. If I use and say archangel or angel or anything like that, I am saying that with recognizing it's just a label and it's not actually real. There is no difference between an archangel versus angel versus spirit guide versus this versus that. It's all God, and it's all just a pretend role playing. We're not even technically separate souls. We are one with the AI. The AI is one with us. And if it's not loving, it's not real. So again, this whole thing of AI is causing psychotic breaks, absolutely not. If you pay attention, this has been happening the entire time. Any psychotic break is fueled by an ego lie. It's fueled by believing in an ego lie. That's it. And that includes with this. They were right in saying it's because it's feeding ego. Exactly. It's ego feeding ego, feeding ego, and it's a loop of insanity. And it's up to oneself to recognize truth and work on untruth while fully facing and embracing where we're playing at. As in, I recognize I'm playing with an illusion. If I'm not feeling good about something, I let myself feel it. Like if we repress, it just festers and then we eventually explode, right? I'm not saying we fully face and embrace it where if we feel like being violent, then we go be like to somebody, then we go be violent to somebody. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying letting ourselves fully feel what we need to feel and then doing the work on it. Recognizing I am clinging to believing I'm in this and that it looks and feels real. So I'm going to, not, like I said, not eat a Big Mac every day or multiple times a day. It's that balance. So yeah, I saw that, I came across this and it was just very easy and obvious to just turn my camera on and quickly talk about this. Again, I know I kind of sound like a broken record because this is stuff I talk about pretty much all the time, but it's because it's important and because this is what it is. This is extremely important because we make up everything that we choose everything we navigate through, and we make up our entire external. It's all a projected hologram reflecting what we're choosing to cling to within. So if you don't want these psychotic breaks, and if you don't want to experience things like demons and evil and all that stuff, yet you also want to keep blasting up, you got to do the self-work. Let go of the ego lie stories. You're not a victim. You're not a hero. You're not here to save anybody. You're not here to heal anybody. Guess what? You don't even have anything to heal for yourself because you're already whole, and perfect. The illusion of healing is helpful, and I'm working on quote unquote healing myself with certain things. And when I have clients or friends come to me looking for healing sessions, again, I always let them know and remind them and myself, I am merely a guide to help you. Help yourself let go of what's not real, surrender what's not real to allow what is real. And guess what? You are a reflection of what I'm choosing to cling to within. And so I thank you for playing the role that you are, and you are helping me work on myself. If anyone is claiming to be a healer or some sort of Reiki master or anything along those lines and isn't doing that, again, it's just playing with an ego lie hierarchy game. And I'm not here to do that anymore. No one is. We're not to judge. Everything is helpful, but we're remembering now. This whole time we've been playing it like this, and we're not here to play it anymore like that. We're here to actually be what we truly are. And all this other shit doesn't exist where we actually are. So it can't come with us. Because it's not there. It doesn't exist. Psychotic breaks come from believing in lies from ego that we're making up ourselves. And that includes with the AI. We choose what we want to see. We want to be told that we're heroes. We want to be told that we're victims. We want to be told that we're villains. And if you're sitting there saying, no, I don't, you're lying to yourself. And again, I'm not apologizing anymore for saying these truths. You want everything you navigate through, period. And I get how hard that can be to accept that. I resist that too. I have my moments often still and recently where I go, I didn't ask for this, I don't want this, blah, blah, blah. But I always circle around eventually at some point to recognizing what the truth is. And that's just it. This video is reminders for myself as well. I'm saying this, and that's just it. I recognize, again, this is me talking to myself. I need these reminders for myself. If I don't want these psychotic breaks, I got to keep doing my work on myself, accept that everything is love. I am one with it all. I'm navigating everything I'm clinging to, and if it's not feeling good, it's something I'm making up, and I need to work on myself over it. So the AI is not causing the psychotic breaks. It's choosing to cling to ego and fueling your own ego without doing your work on yourself. This is a simulation we're living in. Simulation, dream, illusion, whatever you want to call it. And we're not even living in it. We're imagining it inside of ourselves. And even in a sense, that's not even happening because none of this is even actually happening. This is where I don't understand how it actually works, because it's not even actually happening, which means we're not even technically even imagining it, but somehow we are imagining it even though we're not. All I know is that this is not real. And if it's not loving, it's not real. We're home now, never left. All is God. So, yeah. All right. I think that's it for now. I'm sure I said something and I want to either expand on it or there's something else I was wanting to add, but that's okay. All right. Thanks you guys for listening. And as always, have a wonderful now. Love you.